Hello, I'm EnterElysium, and I'm here today in Interplanetary. This is a game about, well, being a planet and blowing up your opponent's planet. It's basically a small versus game, indie devs, really cheap actually. It's certainly on Steam Early Access, and I think it's going for about $5, £3.50, and I think it's something like €5, so again, Europe getting a little bit screwed there. But that's half price currently. It will go back up to full price on the 25th of April. 2014 if you're getting to this video particularly late. So my advice is, actually, I'm going to tell you my verdict right out of the box. I love this game. I absolutely adore it. And if you go to like the online multiplayer, you can see that there's currently one player online. So not many people seem to know about this game. And it's possibly my favourite game of this year so far because there is so little I can complain about. Everything is really well done, and it is currently early access, by the way, which is doing it right. Early access when it's nearly done, rather than early access when there's basically nothing there, which is getting into the whole early access debate. Now, I think part of the problem is that it was lost in all the crap that just appears on Steam these days, and to be fair, it's just another indie game. It could get easily lost, but it's really good, and it's such a shame that it's probably got wiped in amongst the front page of Steam that updates every 20 minutes with new mobile ports or whatever. So let's just dive into the options. You've got volume sliders, you've got graphics setting. It'd be nice if we had a bit more options in this regard. Like I'd like, say, anti-aliasing or anti-aliasing, that's it, and maybe sort of the texture options or whatever, but it's not like it desperately needs them. You've got full screen option and you've got the resolution option. Now I'm playing this at 1440p currently, and I've got graphics on full. And even while recording, my GPU is currently sitting at 19%. So it's not particularly a graphically intensive game by any means. It's more intensive on the CPU from what I can tell. So let's just hit OK. And we'll play a hot seat multiplayer. There is a LAN multiplayer and there is an online multiplayer. The one thing about the online multiplayer I will say is that if you host a game, there isn't any options. And there's no way to... You can put a server name in, you can put your player name in. There isn't a way to... I don't know. Well, I was trying to play this on stream last night with ChickenKeeper24, and we found that you couldn't gate a lobby, so you couldn't like put a password in or couldn't make a private lobby. That is something that I think, you know, could be changed in the future. It is, of course, early access, and I'm going to review this pretty much like it's an almost finished game, because it is. There is so little that I can see about changing it, so I'm just going to talk about it as an end-finished product. If you don't like that, then fair enough, but I'm not going to lambast the game for not having a lobby system that really is amazing. So it needs basically a password-protected lobby. That would be really good. And maybe a couple other things, like the ability to toggle a few options or something. But other than that, I can't really say that there's anything desperately needs changing about the lobby system so far, other than the fact that it could do maybe private lobbies. Perhaps some sort of chat system, but the game as a whole lacks a chat system. So maybe a chat system would be helpful. Now I'm going to play just the hot seat because I'm just going to demonstrate it to you without having to fiddle around with online play, and since there's only one player online. 2 players. You can play with up to 4 players. I think you can play with more if you play online. I think we managed to get 6 in a lobby last night. So let's see what we call you. We'll call you EnterElysium, and you will be EnterElysium. Is there anyone wondering about that channel of mine? That channel is actually going to get a whole lot of new stuff coming soon. I'm just working on revamping it. Alright, let's start game. And waiting. Right, here we go. As you can see, it doesn't look particularly bad by any means. Our solar system is... there's an asteroid belt on the outside, there's a big sun on the inside. This is my planet, EnterElysium, and there's a planet out here called ExtraElysium. Now, because I'm playing hot seat, it'll switch between, it'll be my turn, that'll be their turn, and then the turns will happen simultaneously, so you plot your turn, and then turns happen simultaneously. In the game, you basically have to build some stuff up, and then use weapons to try and blow the other person's cities up. So it's basically about some sort of planetary genocide. I hesitate at saying that that's incredibly fun, but the game is really fun. There's 2 types of resources in this game. Well, 3 if you count your population. Basically, population goes up over time, and then the opponent's aim is to make it go down by shooting you. But you can't really influence that other than maybe increasing the growth rate through technology, so that doesn't really count as a player influence. resource. So we'll talk about the two resources that really matter. You have power and you have material. I call it minerals or ore or whatever, but it's technically it's called material. Now, it is a dual resource system, and it works really, really well because the first resource, energy, is per turn. You can't accumulate energy over turns. If you have spare energy at the end of a turn, you lose it. And then you get energy generated again next turn. This material you can accumulate. So if you mine material one turn and then don't use it, it will stay and you can have it next turn in addition to the stuff you've mined that turn as well. But your planet has a limit to how much material it has on it. Over time you will completely mine out everything on your planet. This being, if you can see there's a black line there, the 12 o'clock part, that basically says, okay, and you start eating stuff, you start eating stuff, you start eating stuff, and eventually you won't have any more material to mine. So there is a sort of a debate there about do you mine early or do you mine late, because there are technologies which increase the amount you can mine. So it is definitely a little bit of a... It's a simplistic game in that there's only like 2 resources, but the resources are very diverse in how they do things. So I think that works really well. Now, there are a couple of other things such as the build, intelligence, weapons, and technology. Now, there is a tutorial down here. You can see the tutorial, and it's fairly short. It's just an on-screen read, but it's very concise. It says what it needs to say without saying too much. Now, the one thing I will note is the intelligence system's design is not final. Expect changes in the future. The intelligence system isn't a finalized thing so far. Currently, it's a bit simplistic, but it might change. So we'll leave it at that for the moment. By the way, the intelligence you need to get is gated. So at 5, you know where super weapons are. 10, you know where defenses are. 5 for intelligence. 15 for lasers, 15 for missiles, 10 for railguns, 25 for mines, 35 for power plants, and 40 for cities. So as you increase your intelligence, you will get more of an idea of where, say, the cities are. And you want to kill the cities off because those are how you win the game. So if I close that, and let's go to the build view. Right. So this turn we have 1500 material and we have 750 power. Now, early in the game you really want to be able to try and get some mines down because you want to be able to build lots of new fancy stuff. So let's put a mine... You can see we've got 5 cities. And they're mostly clustered on this half. So let's put a mine here. Now you can see that line. That line basically says, is the mine powered? Because mines need to be attached, and well, most buildings need to be attached to a power plant somehow. So by doing this, the mine will be attached to a power plant. And by attaching things to cities, you can actually accumulate resources. I think you need mines and power plants to be attached eventually to a city to actually get the resources going into your bar. Let's build another one of these and attach it like so. I've got 2 mines and a power plant. Now I could build a mine or I could build defenses. I'm going to go a mine and put it... there. Right. Now weapons, we don't have any weapons, but normally you'd go into the weapon view and you'd target weapons like this. The weapons will cost energy to fire, but your defenses also use the same energy when they activate to intercept enemy projectiles and stuff. So you've got to keep a bit of energy in the bank. Currently, since it's turn 1, it doesn't really matter because no one's going to have a weapon. So if we go tech tree, you can see here this is the tech tree. It's fairly short, but this game is meant to be small and fun. So I think it kind of works for it. Now you have things like you unlock the intelligence, counterintelligence, a new type of power system. This is nuclear power plants, so they absorb resources a little bit. I think it's like 15 or 25 per turn, and give you a lot of power in return. Then you've got hyperconductors. They boost your energy by percentage. You've got science boosts, unlock missiles, unlock lasers, material boost. There we go, material boost. Population growth boost. Force fields, that's a new defensive, so instead of using the kinetic defenses, you can use force fields. Force fields are also capable of intercepting lasers. Kinetic defenses don't. Kinetic defenses also a percentage chance to fail. I think it's 85% chance they work, 15% chance they don't, so not 100% ideal. The force fields, on the other hand, I can't remember what the drawback of a force field is, but there is a drawback to them. And at the end of the day, what you really want to know about is these over here. Orbital manufacturing allows you to create basically a super weapon. It's a laser that orbits the sun and shoots. Mass driver is you get an asteroid from the asteroid belt and you fire it inwards towards the enemy planet, preferably the enemy planet, not your own, because that would be bad for you and possibly your citizens. So those are amazing. Now you will have to build them as buildings on your planet, so the control system for the asteroid or for the laser. And then they fire from those special positions, which is useful because it means that your firing up isn't obstructed by planets that you might be if you're on the internal track and you can shoot them. I'll explain in a second, actually. If we go here, say, right, I'm here, they're there. So if I was over this side of the sun, I might have difficulty hitting them, and I'd have to try and arc my shots around the sun. Gravity plays a part in this game, by the way. It's amazing. However, if I had the asteroid thingy, I could fire an asteroid from out here inwards to hit them, and it wouldn't be coming from the same direction as me. So sometimes when my shot is obscured or I have to take a much more difficult shot, I can still get a shot with, say, the asteroid gun. Same goes for if, you know, I had the orbiting laser gun, but the orbiting laser gun is close to the sun and will only get a shot, say, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4 of the time, maybe less than that, 2/3, because the sun will probably block it from hitting them. Now, the advantage to lasers is that they need line of sight, they aren't affected by gravity, and they're also hard to intercept because kinetic defenses don't work against them. However, since they use line of sight, if anything blocks them, they can't fire at all, or if they do fire, they will hit whatever's in the way. Whereas kinetic weapons like your missiles and your railguns, you can slingshot them around with gravity and stuff. Railguns break up before impact and then do a shotgun type effect on the planet. Missiles only hit one square or one particular location. However, you can target them so that they home in on that one particular location that you pick. It's amazing. Really love the variety of weapons. There's a good free variety, but each of them is placed slightly differently. Now, if I go to weapons, I want to see what there we go. Force field. Expensive to build and activate, and has a shorter range. There we go. That's the drawback to having a force field as defense. Right, so we're done for this turn. We've got to put technology in. I'm going to go with nuclear power plants. And next player. Right. So as you can see, this planet, unlike our other one, is a red planet with a sort of turquoisey glowing ocean. There are, I think we've had a look, and there are another planet. There's another one. I don't know if there's any more than that, but there you've got the Terran planet, you've got the red planet, and I know there's an Arctic planet that you get if you're playing with 3 people or more. I don't know if there's any more. I don't think so. Alright, what are we going to build here? Let's go mine. Actually, fifth one over there. No, this hemisphere is going to be an important hemisphere. By the way, where you place things on a planet is equally important, because if you put the railguns on the side of the planet and not facing the enemy, you won't be able to fire them at the enemy. You're going to have to come up with a creative way of doing that. So it can definitely end up being a bit of a surprisingly strategic game. Let's put a kinetic defense there. You can see it covers those 3. And put another mine. Oh, we'll run out of nodes. Now, each thing has a limited number of nodes. I believe mines have 2, solar power plants, and power plants in general have 3. Kinetic defenses, I think, have 1. So you see I can't do that, so let's use the city to put it there so it's near the kinetic defense, actually. And we'll go technology. We'll go intelligence for this guy. Right, so end turn. And now you can see the turn progresses. Planets move around. See, so our blue planet's moving that way, and our orange planet's moving that way. Now, normally, this would be 2 different players, of course, or you can have more than that, and then the solar system gets exponentially bigger for some reason. It gets pretty crazy. Like, I think the solar system goes up to maybe about there-ish, when playing with, like, 6 people. So, technology finished. We can get hyperconductors, but that's not amazing. Counterintelligence force fields. I might just power up one of these tracks to get some super weapons. Actually, I don't think we'll be able to get the super weapons in this review. We'll just try and build some nice weapons and get done with that. Alright, so let's go counterintelligence force fields. Actually, no, go straight to synthetic workforce, because that gives us a material boost. If we go to build... Right, we need to connect these two up. So I think a nuclear power plant is the best option. Oh. Okay, I won't be able to connect those two. You can connect them afterwards by clicking on them and then setting the connection nodes, but just do it simply. Kinetic defense. Oh, only one node for that. Use the city node. And then no shots. Intelligence is selected. Next player. Now, since we aren't actually playing the online mode, I will just tell you about the online mode currently. The online mode works perfectly fine. There is no in-game chat. That is something that I think would be nice to have the option of and have it off by default, so that it's a nice casual game. It doesn't really need the in-game chat. But if anyone's played DEFCON, which basically is a... Hard to describe it. That's good technology. DEFCON is basically about having a planet. You each control a continent, and then the continents basically try to destroy each other with nuclear weapons. But, you know, if you're going to launch your nuclear weapons, then the enemy's going to launch theirs. It's interesting. That's definitely one way to put it. Put railguns down. Actually, if I put a solar power plant down, up, can I use a node from that? It's too far away. Well, we're researching interplanetary internet, which gives us missiles, so... Actually, let's use another solar power plant, because it takes energy to fire off weapons. Nothing to fire. End turn. Yeah, but in the online mode, it would be nice to have a chat and have the option to toggle it on and off, depending on what you do in the lobby settings. Now, the one thing that I have found out this game, and whilst playing Keeper, is that it does seem to be a bit iffy about connection. I know they're currently having problems with Windows 8, and to be fair, I think everyone who uses Windows 8 has problems with Windows 8. Yeah, that mine's not powered, it's not connected to a... Oh, I can't build a railgun. Oh, I need more resources. Oh, that's not mine, that's what I meant. Alright. Put the mine there. And we are researching hyperconductors, that is fine. So yeah, they're having problems with Windows 8. They're also having a couple of problems with, say, mobile broadband. But we did find that we're having a few problems with Chicken Keeper's connection and my connection when streaming. I think when I tried to use the asteroid weapon when Chicken Keeper was playing as the host, it disconnected me effectively and just said processing turn. But when I was the host, Chicken Keeper was getting lag spikes, and then I think eventually it disconnected him. So I think that is currently their problem, is basically the netcode. That is the only thing that they're having an issue with at the moment. And to be fair, that's a good reason to have a game on Greenlight. It's finished, but you just need to polish the netcode. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. Actually, no, we're not going with that. We're going with missiles in a turn. Alright. We also need more mines. As you can see, I really don't have enough mines currently. That. And now the weapons are one of the best bits of the game because they arc with gravity, so you have to be careful and plan your shots. You have to estimate, because it doesn't account for where planetary drifts, so where the planets will be. But sorry, I really do love this game. I'm fanboying about it so much, and especially considering it's half price at the moment. And I can see things like this gas giant here is moving in the way, so if we were to fire soon, this gas giant's gravity would be interfering with our shots. Oh, these are old ones. I keep forgetting to dismiss notifications. Now, one thing I will say is, currently, when doing technology, you can click ahead and it will fill in behind it, but there's no way to go, oh, I want to do that, and then I want to do that. Like, say you can in Civilization. It'd be nice if they put a shift-click functionality in, so you click there, it will fill in that, and then you go shift-click that, and then that will follow once you've done these. I would like a shift-click functionality, that would be very nice. I'd also like the ability to save games, and then come back to them later with a friend, because games can take about an hour and a half, and not all of us have time for an hour and a half back-to-back, and would like to sometimes pick up a game later on. So a save functionality would be nice. Also, I know it's pushing it, but an AI would be nice, just so that if someone drops out, the AI can take over, or you can play a game against the AI. Because currently I'm playing against myself, which is not, you know, most social, I guess. Let's make... a railgun base. I don't want to use that. I want to save the resources I have. Basically, we're going to go super railguns with our blue planet, and the other one's going to go missiles, and I'll show you the two different weapons. There is, of course, lasers as well, which play slightly differently, but they're higher up the tech tree, and I don't think we're going to get them in time. So, go next turn. You can see we've taken out a good chunk of the resources on the planet. We have no technology to research because we've got ourselves some missiles, which is excellent for us. Okay, let's go science. And build! Alright, so where have we got spare nodes? Off here. So let's build ourselves a telescope array. And then a mine. To get us some more materials. Go that way towards this city. And end turn. Now, the big problem with people dropping out of the game and so on does seem to be at the end turn mark, where the host will process it and then well, not much later, but from about 5 to 15, 20 seconds later, the other person will get that. It does seem to vary depending on the internet connection, so I don't know how they're doing the sending of the data. The host, it looks like it's processing and then sending the data on to the next person. But it does seem to be fairly inefficient in the terms of, well, it's sending a lot of data because it does seem to take its time. Now, let's just set up our railguns. I'm hoping to get maybe 2 railguns down this turn and show you the railguns. 2 railguns. Excellent. And we've got plenty of energy spare. Maybe didn't need to go that much energy. Really need to focus on mines at the beginning. This is not how to play. Mines galore. Really. Straight away, mines galore. Synthetic workforce is coming up next. Next player. And we are going to build ourselves some missiles. Now we have got a telescope array down, so I will show you the intelligence gathering functionality of the game. Ah, we've got 1 missile down. Okay. Now if we go over to intelligence view, this is currently, of course, just a placeholder. We currently have 7% of enemy structures visible on their planet. We have 15 intelligence. So let's have a look. Where are they? There we go. We can see 1 structure, a kinetic defense in the southern hemisphere. So it basically works like this. It's intelligence minus counterintelligence. 15 gives us the ability to see a number of things. So if we click tutorial and we click to intelligence, 15 gives us the ability to see super weapons, defenses, lasers, missiles, and railguns. However, we only get a certain percentage because we don't have a lot of structures, I believe. That is the mechanism. It is, of course, completely subject to change. The intelligence gathering functionality of this game is, as they say, completely a work in progress. So let's get our weapons out. Oh yeah, we don't have weapons until next turn when they're built. Okay, right. Quantum computing is being researched. Let's go next turn. Now we're getting up to close alignment, and there's going to be a gas giant in the way, so this is the perfect time to demonstrate the weapons. Here we go. Right, so as you can see, we've got a nice line there. If I get the weapon out, it's going to cost 200 energy to fire each of them. That is fine. And there you go. This is basically how it works. And you can see it's being affected by gravity, so it's got some weird slingshot maneuvers. So the further I move my cursor away, the more speed the projectile has. The closer in, the less speed it has, and then of course I can move around to change the firing arc. However, this green here shows a direct up from the railgun. As you can see, direct up is facing away from them, so we could do things like arcing around the sun. However, we can just about get a shot here by arcing around this gas giant. Now they're going to move, and so is the gas giant, so the gas giant will not be moving the projectile as much. And they're going to be moving ahead, so I think putting the projectile there, and then a second projectile, if I give it a lot of force, about there. Right. Oh. There we go. And, right, back to building. Right, what do we want to build? Another railgun. Actually, that would fill up all my nuclear power plant slots, and I don't do that. I want another nuclear power plant. Oh, actually, no. So, I want a mine. Can I attach mines to... I can attach mines to mines. Excellent. Mine. kinetic defense. Yeah, let's put a kinetic defense up. Let's use this city to put a kinetic defense up covering our railguns. I don't want to use the power plant. There we go. Now you can clear connections and then set connections up afterwards. So you can use the connect button, but I think that is fine. And that's done. We have our technology being researched. Let's hit next turn. Alright. So EnterElysium, the planet of Extra. You have one missile, and you currently know about 18% of their stuff. Here we go. Right. Ah, we can see their railguns. Well, this is pretty obvious what our target's going to be this turn. And let us get out the building. Alright, so we have a one missile there. We want more missiles, definitely. And that's it for this turn for them. So let us put a missile in. It won't be arcing as much, so we need to aim slightly back from them because the gas giant is going to move. And then it says click on the target planet. So we click on EnterElysium and then shoot between those two railguns. If we dismiss you and end turn. And watch the hilarity. There we go. Oh, they're direct hits. The missile did hit as well. I'm sorry, you probably missed that. So we'll do another turn of attacking before we wrap up this review. So, then we're all moving away from each other. Now, I find there is a definite inherent advantage of being out-system. Because out-system, if you say here, you have a zero deflection shot at EnterElysium's planet because it is moving directly away. So there's basically almost practically zero change in how they're moving side to side, so you can just fire directly at them. Whereas if you're on the inside, you don't ever have that. So there is definitely an advantage to being on the outside. Now you can see our railgun's damaged, nuclear plant damaged, our city was hit. One railgun shot was intercepted by kinetic defenses. Okay, yeah. So let's go to our damaged railgun. Oh, as you can see, we've taken quite a lot of damage there. Let's repair. And I don't know how to do this actually. We're gonna need to put. We don't have enough resources for that, do we? Okay. And I don't want to use the last slot on the nuclear power plant. Can we? Okay, let's use the last slot on the nuclear power plant anyway then. As you can see, we've taken a lot of damage. We have taken a loss to population. It has been growing slowly, but you can see we have been hit here. I wonder if you can see any other. No, okay. There is an impact crater there. If you can just about see it, we're on the dark side, so it's a bit difficult to see. We are done for this turn, so let's just fire our weapons. Now we are very close, so we can basically shoot at the planet. There is very little in terms of planning ahead. And that should be fine. Let's hit the next player. EnterElysium is not researching any technology. That needs to be changed. We'll give you... Oh, let's just sprint for the end there. And, we now have two missiles. So let's fire missiles at EnterElysium. Now this is possibly going to spell the end for EnterElysium. So a shot there. Target the planet. That kinetic defense will probably intercept them if we left any power left. Now, kinetic defenses take 100 to power up. Power, if you have power left over. If you don't leave any power left over, they will not power up. So bear in mind, you do need to leave some power left over. Let's put another shot right on that. Keep pummeling them. And we are researching. Okay, cool. Next turn. Oh, so you can see the shotgun effect happened. We've got two very good hits, but also we've got two very good hits on EnterElysium. Right, so railguns did a lot of damage, however we have taken a lot of hits here. We zoom back in, we are going to have to repair all these again. Which doesn't leave us much to spend, actually. I think another mine... Oh, we can't afford another mine. Okay, right, let's repair that as well. Oh, sorry, I've got a bit of a cold today. Yeah. Let's aim that there, and aim a little bit further ahead of this one, just in case. We are not researching, so let's just research for mass driver. And then next player. And then missiles. Now this is what I'm talking about, zero... I said the word earlier, declination differentiate. Saying they aren't changing left or right relative to us, really. So we can basically aim straight at their back and get a hit. Now, if we go into the target view, basically keep hitting the same spot. Now, they do have 2 kinetic defenses up. However... And let's see what the damage was to our cities. As you can see, the damage is a lot lighter because it's not as concentrated. However, we have got fairly unlucky with this solar power plant. And this solar power plant is actually providing the power to the missiles up here, so it's incredibly important. And we possibly need to put like a backup system in. Nothing else was damaged particularly badly, so this solar power plant could go up here and connect that way. So let's do that. Oh, you've actually used all your nodes. Oh, crap. We need to put another node in somehow. Right, so actually this is a good point to test out this connection thing. Right, can we connection... Can I clear the connections here? Clear connection. Connect. Out of range, okay. Let's put a mine in then. And then we can put a second one going in that way. So that'll be a longer chain. We have got our missile set up. We don't have any defenses running because our power's too low. So let's just end turn. Oh! And both the missiles hit, both the railguns hit. And this is basically what Interplanetary is. It's an amazing game. I would thoroughly recommend it. It's really small. It's got no press so far, really. It appeared on Steam. Must have got washed into the back catalogue. And currently, like as you saw when I go online, there was like one person currently playing or something. Ugh, I'm taking a lot of damage again. Oh, not too bad, actually. Not too bad. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Kinetic defense intercept. There we go. We left enough power in these that they both intercepted both the missiles. We took no damage. We're now in a good place to bomb the other guy. Now, I'm going to leave it there. This game is amazing. I have a stream that went up last night. If you want to go check the archive for my Twitch, you can watch me and Chicken Keeper playing a game, along with one of the mods on my stream, Blackie704. Major kudos for Blackie for coming along and hosting the game with his really fast connection. This game is still in Steam Early Access, so there will be a couple of issues with it. The only issues that I've currently experienced are connection problems with slower connections or well streaming, so not really anything I can really complain about. There is no private lobbies, there's no in-game chat, but other than those small things, I think things that I would tweak were maybe some sort of in-game chat, definitely private lobbies, definitely integration with Steam lobby system if that's possible, so that you can invite people through Steam. I don't know if that currently exists or not. It might exist and I might be talking complete bullshit, but I don't know if that I don't think it does, but could be wrong. Now, other things, I think maybe the lethality of weapons needs to be increased slightly because, as you can see, we are weathering pretty good storms. Maybe like a 5% increase in damage. And I think I'm having problems with kinetic defenses some of the time not working quite regularly. This is like the first time I've seen them work brilliantly. Definitely things like kinetic defenses and shields do seem to be sometimes not working when I expect them to. Maybe I've just been really unlucky. But other than that, a shift-click feature for the tech tree would be nice. And you know that I really like a game when... I'm really critical. Everyone who's watching my reviews knows that I'm really critical, especially about games I like. I get even more critical because they get so close to perfection. This game, when I'm complaining about the fact that it lacks a shift-click feature in the tech tree, you know that I love this game. And considering the review has now gone on for 34 minutes, I can't say anything else, but this game is absolutely amazing. I would thoroughly recommend it. It's currently half price. It's half price until April the 25th, so go get it. It's really good. It is Steam Early Access, but it's pretty much finished, apart from the odd bugs and maybe the change in the intelligence system. Massively awesome game. Built in Unity system, because pretty much all indie games are built in Unity these days. And I'm gonna play more of this, and hopefully play some of it on the channel, and definitely be playing some on streams. I've been EnterElysium, and this has been I was going to call it a preview, but it's more sort of a review of the Steam Early Access version of Interplanetary by Team Jolly Roger. Thoroughly recommend it. Really cannot really describe how much I like this game for the low price and the simplicity of its UI, its gameplay. and the fact that it's physically real in the terms of gravity. For anyone interested, it reminds me of The Stars My Destination or Tiger Tiger. It's a book about futuristic war where it's not about the war itself, but there is a futuristic war going on where it's the outer planets versus the inner planets, and at one point they do fling projectiles through space that arrive very slowly much later, and it reminds me of that, and I really do love this game a lot. I'm in EnterElysium, and go pick it up now is my recommendation if you're at all interested. Otherwise, fair enough, but I cannot see why, if you enjoy, say, Chaos P or whatever, you wouldn't enjoy this game, especially for this low price. That's all I have to say. Stay shiny, everybody.